Let me bring you. You're in tune, your number 698.3 FM, 1280 AM, WJ. Wow, time stands as 8:30. We're going to now listen to Brother Michael Jenkins and our sports talk. Good morning to you, Brother Michael Jenkins.
Good morning. Good morning, Tater. Good morning to everyone out there. Welcome to PD Sports Wrap. This is going to be mostly about baseball today. We're going to try to catch up on where the high school teams are right now and see where they're headed. I want to take a look first at the state rankings. I want to take a look first at the state rankings. And this is the overall state rankings. And the number one team in all of South Carolina is Dorman High School. Of course, Dorman is up there in Spartanburg. And they sport a record of 21-2. They are ranked number one. They are followed by Boiling Springs High School, which is also a little bit more. Yeah. Boiling Springs High School is in Spartanburg as well. And they are right behind their in-city rivalry. James Island Rams, or they used to be the James Island Rams, but now they are the James Island Trojans. And they are number 3 in the state. They are followed by Blythewood. And number 5 is James F. Burns High School. Let's take a deeper dive into Dorman, because Dorman and James Island are both nationally ranked. Let's see. 1 second here. Yeah, they are nationally ranked. And Dorman is ranked number 42 in the nation. James Island is ranked further down, but nevertheless, it's kind of impressive when you have two teams from our state who are on the national scene. I want to take a deeper dive into Dorman. Right now, as I said, they sport a record of 23-2. They're 11-1 in the region, and that places them first. They are ranked number 42 nationally and number 1 in the state of South Carolina. We want to take a look now at how they've gotten to this place. And they haven't been a great program over the last several years or so. So this is kind of like a new thing for Dorman High School for baseball, at least in the last 5 years. They started the season. Oh, sorry. Still hearing music. Okay. Yeah. It's not a bad idea, by the way, but looking at first game they played was against Seneca. They beat them 5-1. Next game was against Stratford. They beat them 13-0. Then they played Georgetown. They got them 9-1. Beat AC Flora 6-0. Eastside, they beat them 14-4 and 13-5. They beat Dutch Fork 15-3. They beat Boiling Springs High School 9-1, and then they lost to them on a couple of days later 8-2. TL Hanna, they beat them 4-0. Beat Wade Hampton 10-1. Beat Hillcrest 15-5. Beat Wade Hampton again 14-0. They beat James F. Burns 5-3 and 15-3. T.C. Robinson, that's the school out of North Carolina, I believe they beat them. They lost to them 10-6. They beat River Bluff 7-6. Airport 12-2. Somebody named MSA. Who is MSA? MSA is Miller School of Albemarle. So that's a North Carolina group as well. And then they beat Gaffney 2 times, 14-1, 18-1, beat Riverside 18-0, beat Hillcrest 6-5, and beat Riverside again just on yesterday, 16-1. I want to stop and wish my late sister Pamela Karen Shirley Jenkins a happy birthday. She would have been 68 today, but she's been gone all these years. She passed away when she was 37. So just wanted to throw that out there in case any of my family members are listening in. So that's the story with Dorman, and they are definitely on the radar right now as a top team, and it looks like they are going to be a serious threat for this state tournament run that they're about to make. James Island. James Island is undefeated in the region at 12-0. They have an overall record of 22-1. They are ranked number 3 in the state and number 87 nationally. They just played Fort Dorchester last night. They beat them 14-4. They got 2 with Somerville, the 27th and the 29th. But I want to take a look at their full schedule to see how they arrived at where they are. They beat Southside Christian High School to open the season at 12-2. They beat lost to AC Florida, I'm sorry, 8-5. Chapin, they beat them 8-3, beat Seneca 3-2, beat what's this? See all these schools with initial. Charlotte Christian baseball team. So obviously that's another North Carolina entrant. And they took care of them 5-1, beat Lexington 7-0, beat Berkeley 11-0, beat White Knoll 3-1, Ashley Ridge 5-1, Ashley Ridge 8-2. They played them 3 times in a row. Wow. 5-1, 8-2, and 8-5. Then they beat West Ashley twice, 7-1 and 13-1. And it says here they played them a 3rd time, beat them 5-0. Who plays people 3 times in one season? I mean, come on. Unless it's a playoff. So I'm going to finish this off by saying they beat Fort Dorchester High School 3 times in a row, 13-3, 9-8, and 14-4. So the top teams in the state of South Carolina are all dominated by what was known once as Big 16 schools. They're still dominating the overall picture in the state of South Carolina. But there are some other things that we want to look at in some other teams. And let's take a look at the national rankings real quick. And I'll just read you the top 10. Tomball out of Texas, they're 30-0. They're number 1, followed by Orange Lutheran out of California at 16-3. Venice out of Florida is number 3. Barby out of Louisiana is number 4. Caroline out of Texas is number 5. Norco out of California is number 6. Harvard Westlake is number 7. They're out of California. Canterbury is number 8. They're out of Florida. Number 9 is Trinity from Kentucky. IMG Academy, you know about them, out of Florida. They are ranked number 10. So those are your top 10 national teams. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, they do have 2 South Carolina teams listed as the top teams in the nation. So without further ado, let's move on to local action. And we have ladder. And I really didn't know this until I looked last night. But did you know that Latta was the #1 ranked single A team in all of South Carolina? Good morning, Miss Dolores Williams. How are you? I'm trying a new platform out the last couple of weeks, so I'm just kind of trying to get adjusted to it. But I'm glad you folks joined me here on StreamYard. Latta is #1, but did you also know that Lakeview was #2? So you got the #1 and #2 ranked single A schools in all of South Carolina. It's right up the road here. Rivals. Latta versus Lakeview. And then you got some others in the top. Wow. I guess this is relative because we have a lot of single A teams down here. We're going to have 2 more right at the County of Marion next year. But the top 10 for single A is Latta is #1, followed by Lakeview at 2. And then you have Hannah-Pamplico at 3, Johnsonville at 4, Green Sea at 5. And that's all in this area. The top 5 are all in roughly the PD area. And then in the case of Green Sea, a little bit extended beyond the PD, but nevertheless in our general area. And you have to go to #6 to find someone not in this area. And that would be Great Falls at #6, Bamberg Earhart at #7, Dixie is 8, Abbeville is 9, and I don't know what this is. What is this? I don't know. Low Country Leadership. So now I'm having to click on these things just to, just to find out who the schools are, because I don't be knowing like that, all those initials. Okay, let's take a look at Lakeview real quick and where they are right now. They're at 16-4, 8-2 in the region, which places them first. Let's take a look at the standings real quick. And even though Latta is the #1 ranked single A team in the whole state, Lakeview leads them in the conference. Latta's #2. So Lakeview's at 8-2 in the region. Latta is a game behind at 7-3. Green Sea is third at 6-3, and they're 10-9 overall. Let's see the full schedule. The full standings. Then you have Johnsonville, Carvers Bay, and Hemingway rounding out the rest of the standings. Carvers Bay is at 2-10 in the conference. Hemingway is at 0-7. They're last. Carvers Bay is 6th. And then you have Johnsonville at 5. Hannah-Pamplico at 4. So most of the top teams in the state are, a bunch of them in the same conference locally. So chances are you're going to see a state champion come out of that region. It's a very good chance that you will. Ronald Rao, how you doing, my brother? Good morning to you. So Lakeview is doing great. Let me see what Latta has done. Latta, they lost to Hannah-Pamplico last night, 15-11. Wow. That's a big hit for them, because that gives Lakeview sole possession of first place. They got a couple of games coming up with Johnsonville that should be interesting, as Johnsonville tries to carve out a little bit more space for themselves and get into a better seating position for themselves. Let's take a look here. Now let's talk about Marion and Mullins real quick, starting with Marion. Marion is 5-12. The best part of their record is that they're 5-4 in the region, which puts them in 4th place. Let's take a look at the standings here real quick. And the standings in Region 2, 8-2A, East Clarendon is the top dog. and they're at 9-1 in first place in the region. They are 16-7 overall. They are the second highest scoring team in the conference, trailing only by the second place team, Atlantic Collegiate Academy. East Clarendon has scored 215 runs while giving up only 67. Atlantic Collegiate is the number 2 team in the conference at 8-1. They are 20-3 overall. They've scored 233 runs while giving up only 45, and that places them first in the conference defensively. Lake City is 3 at 6-3, 14-8. Marion is 4th at 5-4 and 5-12 overall. They are followed by 2-7 Manning in the number 5 spot. Kingstree is in the number 6 spot at 1-7, and Mullins is in last place, in 7th place at 1-9, 3-12. They do have this Little John kid on Mullins' team, which I wasn't aware of. I was looking at some rosters last night and I saw his name. So the Little John kid, he's a basketball player too. He's the only recognizable guy that I've seen listed. So congratulations to Little John. So Mullins, as we just said, the thing about it is that Marion's only won 2 more games than Mullins this year, and they've lost the same amount of games. Let's see where Mullins goes next. They're at Kingstree on the 22nd. Oh, Wednesday. 4:22. That's already about. What am I talking about? Okay, so there are no scores here for these. But they do play again Kingstree on the 30th, it looks like. And I think Max Prep has got something a little mixed up here, but that's basically what it says. So Latta and Lakeview will meet each other again at some point. They went toe-to-toe last year. And I see no reason why it won't happen again this year. Well, I did want to take a look at Marion softball because they had been really good over the last several years, but they may have kind of hit the skids a little bit. They're not as good as they were last year. They lost some players to other local schools. But right now, the Lady Swamp Foxes are at 7-8. They're 6-3. Okay. It was scheduled Thursday at home. Oh, Sean. Hey, Sean. It was scheduled for Thursday at home. Kingstree. Okay. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. But the NBA playoffs have started, and it's been very interesting. Oh, yeah, they had the NFL draft this week, but, I don't pay much attention to that unless there are some local kids in there. And since there are no local kids in there this year that I know of, I was kind of searching a little bit to see if I could find some South Carolina players who are in the draft, but I dropped the ball on that one a little bit. I don't have any information on that right now, but I know last year was fun, wasn't it, with TJ and Squirt coming up. Squirt's coming up in a year or so. I would think maybe one more year or on the outside 2 more before Squirt is in the draft. And I have every reason to believe he's going to get there. He's an outstanding talent. I'm glad he's with the Gamecocks now. I would have liked him there from the beginning, but the experience that he had over in Kentucky obviously was a good one. And he grew up. He really grew up being out there. So now we get him back, and looking forward to what he does this year with the Gamecocks. So the Lakers are doing good, really good. And I can't take anything away from them. LeBron is playing well. He's leading the team. He had a big shot last night that tied, sent it in overtime, which they eventually won. So you have Luka out, you have Reeves out, but LeBron has assumed the leadership role with this team, and they're looking pretty good. I mean, I don't know how far they're going to go, but certainly they look good right now. But playoffs is it's not a sprint. It is a marathon. And speaking of marathons, I want to take a little divergence here. Did any of you see this guy who it was a race, a marathon race, I think it was up in Delaware. And there was this one guy who was leading the whole race, man. He was dusting everybody. A white guy. And I say that it is significant because out of nowhere comes this black guy. And the white guy is approaching the finish line casually. He hears the people cheering, and he thinks somehow that they were cheering for him. No, they were cheering for the guy coming up behind him. Beat him by 2 seconds. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. But anyway, more with the NBA. The Rockets look awful. KD looks awful. I want to talk about KD real quick, because you people probably have heard me talk about this before. When KD was with the Warriors, he had the best possible situation that he could ever have in his basketball playing career. The Warriors offered him more money to stay than he took to leave. Now, I blame a lot of you haters out there, a lot of you LeBron fans, because, of course, that was the biggest nightmare of your life that June when KD said he was going to the Warriors. I know that killed you guys. I do get that. But I'm talking about from KD's part. Of course, there were the published beefs between he and Draymond. Okay? That would not make me leave the perfect situation that I would ever have in my whole basketball playing career. He somehow got in his head that he wanted to lead his own team. He wanted to be the team leader. KD is a cog and was a cog in probably one of the most devastating lineups ever assembled. He was a cog. He's a shooter, and he does some playmaking. His presence on the floor made the Warriors unbeatable. But somehow in his mind, he allowed himself to be convinced that he should go somewhere else. It's been a total disaster. The Nets thing, disaster. The Phoenix thing, disaster. And now with Houston, he's hurt, but it's turning into a disaster. You cannot look a gift horse in the mouth. I know you've heard that statement before. You've been given a gift. You've been given the perfect situation for yourself. Right now, you're probably looking at 6 championships that you would have won if you didn't let these people fool you to leave town. Now, people say, okay, look, KD is he wanted to be a leader and all these things, but is he that leader? I don't think he is. As I said, he's a component and was a component in one of the greatest teams ever assembled and one of the greatest teams of our era. But he chose to leave. So I don't feel sorry for him. Whatever. The Spurs are looking like I'm thinking the Spurs are going to come out of the West. But that's, of course, is dependent upon how much missing games will Wembanyama miss, because he got hurt. Man, that kid fell on his face, man. He looked messed up. His face hit the hardwood. That reminds me of several years ago, Marcus Bryant of Marion. He went up, and I think he dunked the ball, but I guess he was trying to avoid injury. I mean, avoid being called for hanging on the rim. And somehow the rim catapulted him up and down on his chin. And he jumped right up. Then he collapsed. That was a scary, scary, scary night, because at this time, don't forget, Marion didn't have wood floor in their gym. They had concrete. And that concrete, over the years, has hurt a lot of people. But this night, and this, Marcus really hasn't been the same since. I hadn't seen him in a while, but that thing hurt him. But I know he's in the service now, and he's my wife's cousin, but I don't know, I was just so afraid for him that night. Oklahoma City also has a player that's hurt, Jalen Williams. He's one of their key components. It looks like he's going to miss some time. Oklahoma City, I can't deny that they are the best team in basketball right now. I don't like them. I don't really like the way they play. I think Lou Dort is a butcher. A butcher, that's what we call guys or a hacker or something like that. But he's a butcher. And he's butchering people all game. And he don't get called for it a lot. So, and then SGA with this whole thing that he's doing with this herky-jerky drawing fouls kind of thing. Now, SGA is a great player. It's just not my kind of player. Can't deny he's a great player, though. I can't deny that Oklahoma City's, I wouldn't call them a great team, but they're pretty good. They're really good. The reason why I hesitate calling them a great team is because they should have got beat last year in the finals. And I think they'll get beat this year. But don't count these guys out because they're really good. Now, as a LeBron hater, not wanting to see the Lakers win, obviously, I mean, I'm sure all of you know that. I just don't, I'm happy to know that Oklahoma City's out there, because at the as a last resort, they could take out the Lakers. Now, for the Lakers part, and I will give them this, they're up 3-0 on Houston, and their two best players, or two of their key scorers, are injured. Now you wonder what's that going to look like when they come back, because before they left, those two guys were leading the team. They were leading them pretty well. They went on a nice roll. LeBron was out for a while, and they did great without him. Well, now he's doing great without them. What does that say about them? The Lakers could pull off something here that could really help their team. It's a long shot. But you figure those two guys, Reeves and Luka, are worth a lot on the open market. I'm thinking you ship one of those cats out. You ship one of those cats out. Now, Taylor said I got 1 minute, so I got to go on down. The Knicks are in trouble with the Hawks. I'd like to see the Hawks beat them. Jalen Brunson is a complete hog. I don't want to be my point guard, ever, because he's never seen a shot he didn't like. Cleveland Cavaliers are up and down. They won the first 2 games. They lost the next game. They look terrible doing it. Orlando beat Detroit in game 2. Game 3 is going to be interesting because Orlando may be a really bad matchup for the Detroit Pistons, but we'll have to see. Philadelphia and Boston. Philadelphia just doesn't have enough to beat them. If they had Embiid, maybe, but they've been giving Boston all they wanted, and they won a big game in Boston last week on the road. So, but anyway, folks, that's all the time I have. Nice. Glad that you guys joined me today. I'll be back next week with more as I'm headed up to Charlotte to watch my little granddaughter who's in a fashion show. So anyway, have a good week. We'll get up. Peace.
Good, mate.
We were loved once more. Separation.
How you doing? How many Charlotte?
You walk with